Morning, people. How are you? Well, take that back. Good afternoon. I'm telling you, truth, solemn truth. I am digging, waking up at whatever time it is, right? Um, which is subject to change, you know. Uh, Got to find a little bit more of the structure of the daily process, hours wise, time management and so forth. But I will say this, people. Um, you choose the hard or soft option. Right. It feels terrific. And I mean this with all sincerity. It feels fabulous to wake up with your head screwed on right. You know, the only question is who's going to go down and make the coffee and start reading emails and processing the day's events with no drugs in your system. And for me, uh, next week will be 7.5 years. 7.5 years. That means in another 2.5 years, I'll have a decade without drinking, right? So yesterday, I'm talking with my Uncle Tim, which is my birth father, James, one of his older brothers, right? And I haven't talked to this gentleman in years. And we reconnected and had about a 20-minute talk. And in my family, there's only so much talking you can do, believe it or not, right? You're like, and you must do the talking for everybody, right? Um, I don't know. It's been years since I've talked to the guy, but in 20 minutes we seemed to cover a lot of the bases, and we were satisfied. It was all good, and we'll talk more. And I look forward to seeing him. And he reminds me that in September he turns 75. Now, if you knew this crazy old motherfucker, you'd be saying to yourself, that guy's still alive. Yeah. But for those who know me, and I'm in my 50s, you're probably saying, damn, is that motherfucker still alive? Yeah. So, what is the moral of the story? It felt great to reconnect, That's the crazy thing about getting older. It's like the time, I swear, is going by faster. Someone once said, again, as your memory gets longer, your life gets shorter. True, but it just felt super talking with him yesterday. And, Allie and I are working towards trying to do something more together at home for employment reasons. She told me yesterday that she really wants to find something out of the house so we can spend as much time together as possible. And I said, I warned you, I can be addicting, man. You might want to be around me. And she's like, no, it really, I don't want to leave you behind. I don't want you to leave me behind. We feel that way about each other. And that's starting to get healthy. I remember some years ago when my ex-wife and I, we started a roofing business, all right? We cashed in our chips from our other respective situations and just said, let's get after this, let's do it, And Sherry had extensive knowledge in windows and siding and roofing, and I've always been, really good with dealing with people. And we started our business with a 1995 four-door Acura Legend with a fold-up ladder in the trunk, And I'll never forget our first client. They were like, hi, where's your truck? Oh, that's our car out there. Okay. Sherry dutifully goes out and gets this ladder out of the trunk while I'm talking to the homeowner. Next thing you know, we're up on the roof measuring and putting it together and coming back down and sitting in their kitchen and drawing up a proposal, and we could finalize it with a email later or a printout or whatever they wanted, And that's how we got things started. But the thing was, were we going to drive each other crazy? 24 hours a day working together. And you know what ultimately happened? It wasn't a problem. You know, that's when you really know that you have something kind of special. And it's not for everybody. You know, some people are like, hey, look, man, I can only see you so many minutes or hours of the day, right? And there's other people, and it's not codependency. I really don't see it that way. But they just so enjoy being together that it just seems second nature to just want to be working together and doing things, you know? I'm getting older. We all are. And I value being around those very few people that don't make me crazy as much as possible. And again, it's not codependency. It's so nice to have the reminder that there is somebody in this world that I don't want to choke the living shit out of or just ignore. And, you my loves and friends on Facebook, hey, if you're one of my friends and in my circle, you know who you are, and I love you, and I miss you, and I want to spend more time with you. I'd love to. But where I have geographically placed myself, it doesn't make it all that easy sometimes, But if you hear this and see this, you guys are in my mind too. Now, I'm not saying I'd want to spend 24 hours a day with you, nor would you probably want to spend 24 hours a day with me. But you get the point I'm trying to make. That if you can have that relationship where it's not difficult, it's not a push, it's not twisting anybody's arms to want to spend, as much time with that other person as possible. I saw a dear friend last night. Her name's Kim, and Kim, I hope you see this. Hi, right. I hadn't seen her in about 2.5 years, right? And there was a period where my main Facebook here, I'd closed down, for a number of reasons, and some of you know why. But I was just pulling back from it for a while. It's a couple of years, actually, right? And it wasn't like I didn't have anything to say. It just, I was just doing other things. So I reconnected with her a few months ago, and just all the planets aligned last night, and we got together, and we went down to see her where she works. She was working the graveyard shift, and I brought Allie with me, and she got to meet her, and it was just great. It's like her and I just picked up kind of where we left off 2.5 years ago or so, and Allie met her for the first time, and they found a common ground. It was just cool. There wasn't any jealousy or animosity or why are we going to see her or what's did you have a relationship? No, I mean, I seem to fall in love with women who seem to have a fair amount of guy friends, right? But just guy friends. Well, I have a number of girlfriends, but they're just that. Exactly. When you're younger, it's like, there's no such thing as a guy friend or a girlfriend. Oh, come on. Right? But as an adult, yeah, they're a friend of mine, but they happen to be a female, right? Or they're a friend of mine, they happen to be a male, right? But, no, and I just texted her here a little while ago, and it meant a lot to her too, to see me and meet Allie, because, you see pictures or you hear videos or whatever of what's going on in someone else's life, but you don't really know the three-dimensional dynamics of that until you see them and spend some time and hear them breathing and moving and it's the real deal. We spend so much of our time just in cyberspace and over the phone or whatever. But don't forget the FaceTime. You have to have it sometimes. It's great, it's where it's at. And I feel good today, I'm still just kind of deciding what the hell it is I want to have for lunch. But I'm working on some things, and it just feels good. It feels great to not be like getting up in the afternoon thinking about drugs or coming down from drugs, or back in the day for me, with alcohol. I'm a knucklehead, I am. I mean, one thing about me, and I'm sure some of you guys know this, when I get into something, I get into it like headlong, man. I don't do it half-assed. It's like, head first into the deep end, into the shallow end, but head first, right? So, needless to say, I've suffered some cranial injuries, but no, figurative speech. But I'm emerging from this, and it's been a very, very long lost weekend, as it were, with this Coke thing. And I'm not boasting. I'm not proud of it. But I'm coming out of it seeing reasons again to live my life without anything in myself that's foreign or unhealthy. It's okay, it's fine to live without that stuff. And how it all happens, how long it happens, why it happens, who you're doing it with, that really I don't see as the focal point. It's that you wake up and you realize at some point, and hopefully you do, and say, look, this relationship isn't working for me. This drug isn't working for me. This spirit libation isn't working for me. Okay? This job isn't working for me. Whatever it is. This diet of mine isn't working for me. And you make the change. I mean, that's one of the beauties about being a human being. We can make the changes. Nothing can stop us. That's one thing the government hasn't been able to regulate yet. Right? Is our frame of mind, our freedom of choice. And I am really, really happy that I'm now putting my head, my time, and my money and my energies back into something that is much more constructive. And what it ultimately is going to be, I don't know. But what I do know is I'm doing it with a clear head, clear mind, clear heart, and I'm doing it with someone that I care about. And her and I have been together 9 months, It's hard to believe we're coming in our first year together, but it's been filled with a lot of emotion and a lot of things. I mean, surgeries, and finding people deceased on the floor, and economic ups and downs, and COVID, and I mean, all of us, right? I mean, whew. Sometimes, my advice is this: don't spend a whole lot of time thinking about it, but sometimes if you just take a little look-see at your own life and where you've been in the last 6 months, a year, 2 years, 5 years, there suddenly is maybe enough there to write a book about, or at least a really good short story, And we think to ourselves sometimes, I'm not getting anything done. I don't feel like I'm accomplishing anything. You're accomplishing a lot more than you think, because in the world we live in today, every day is a chapter, every day is a story. It's not easy, and it's easy, ever so easy, to get pulled off task, or to just get sucked in or sucked down to the nuances of daily life. It takes a lot of energy to break from the realm sometimes, no matter whether it's healthy or unhealthy. But the bottom line is, center yourself around those ones that you love and have your best interests. Center around yourself and stay in touch with yourself. Always spend time with yourself. Get to know yourself. Hey, I'm in my 50s. I still don't think I completely know myself. I know I don't. And I want to know more about me. And I want to know more about others that are close to me. It's like, you ever go back and listen to a song and you can dissect it section by section, and all of a sudden you'll hear something new or something that you had forgotten from times before or overlooked? It's the same way with people in life, right? Sometimes it's okay to go over and rehash the things that are right in front of you, because when you do, you might find something even more special in there, right? And never take those that love you and that you love for granted, right? Okay, blah, blah. More of this. Be good to yourselves. Bye.